Dave, back to that first game where St. Francis, quote unquote, upset Indiana Tech. The toughest game to win are the games that you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
Contrary to what people believe, the games that you are supposed to win on paper, those are the toughest games. And what you had was Indiana Tech coming in with 5 returning starters and 8 or 9 returning players overall, and they're ranked 3rd in the District 21 of the NAIA. I think they came in here a little cocky, maybe.
Well, and St. Francis always comes to play. Those kids always seem to be able to get as much out of their talent as you can possibly get. They played hard all the way, never gave up, got a little lead and kept the pressure on Tech.
You do not want to play St. Francis, period, because there's a Fort Wayne bragging rights going on. Indiana Tech, IPFW, and also St. Francis. You're playing for bragging rights, and they come to play whenever those 3 teams get together.
Well, we're ready for the tip-off here. Sebastian Nyongo from Huntington College Foresters and Doug Ranke for the Indiana-Purdue Mastodons. And IPFW gets the tip, and away we go with Scotty Townsend at the point for IPFW.
It's very important, Dave, that IPFW gets off to a good start.
Nice drive on the baseline by Kevin Shank.
And there's that good start I was talking about.
Yeah. Left-hander David Nichols hits from the corner, a 3-pointer. He will do a lot of the shooting for this Forester outfit, I understand, Charlie.
Yes, he averaged 22 points last year, so he's their top firepower.
And they gear their offense around him, running that baseline, double picks sometimes to try to get him loose. As we see the Mastodons moving the ball around the perimeter, trying to shake somebody loose. Scotty Townsend drives the baseline and couldn't quite get it to fall. Sean Gibson battling on the boards, and I believe he drew a foul against the Foresters.
Again, it's very important that IPFW gets off to that good start, so the same thing that happened to Indiana Tech in that first game does not happen to IPFW. If you dig a hole, sometimes that gives that other team, that other underrated team, that momentum, and they just get better from that point.
They get on top and they stay there. They like it. They like that view.
Exactly.
Glenn Howard inside, nice bounce pass. Should have been a goaltending, and there was against the big fella, Sebastian Anyago from.
That was a great entry pass.
I understand he had some 69 block shots last year, and that's a lot of block shots.
That was a great example of his leaping ability right there. He just was a little late and got that ball coming up the glass.
Yeah. And we see the turnover on the Huntington College Foresters, so IPFW will inbound the ball underneath their own basket, leading 4-3 after about 1 minute of play here in the first half of the second game at the IPFW tip-off tournament. Kevin Shank with the ball. Then they go outside to the point guard, Scotty Townsend. Doug Ranke outside. Nice pass inside. Nice move by Kevin Shank. Kevin's aggressive here tonight, Charlie.
Kevin Shank's one of my favorite players, and I've seen a part of his game in the first couple of minutes here that you don't usually see, and that's on the offensive end. He usually does other things to help the team.
Nice
like
hustle
that
on
right there.
IPFW defense. That's right.
That's what I'm used to seeing Kevin Shank do, but on the offensive end, he's showing me something that, hey, maybe he's coming in and going to score some points this year.
Gave us a little surprise.
I don't think it's as much a surprise as Kevin being a good player and just taking what the defense gives him.
IPFW with the ball. A 6-3 lead. Sean Gibson making him move toward the basket. He's got the big guy on him, so he'll have a little trouble with that move. Doug Ranke with a nice follow, still staying with it, and gets the basket. Nice work on the boards that time by Doug Ranke.
And he just overpowered.
We get a travel that time. IPFW got a little over anxious in terms of getting the ball down the floor.
Scotty saw the open floor ahead of him and took one step too many, trying to get the edge.
Huntington College now with the ball on the outside, looking to move the ball around the perimeter and see if they can get an outside shot. IPFW is zoning their defense at the moment. Ranke with the rebound, and here comes Scotty Townsend quickly down the floor. Glenn Howard, three-pointer, no good. Everybody boxed out that time, and the ball fell down in the middle, and we see 2 points by David Nichols. and he has all 5 points for Huntington College.
I think one of the guards that time may have missed an assignment getting back on defense.
Ooh, nice pass underneath, and Sean didn't quite have the handle on the ball. It looked like it got away from him. David Nichols with the ball, and he's not bashful. He'll be putting it up. He's a left-hander. There's a three-point shot.
Doesn't look like any of those forcers are bashful, Dave.
That's right. Well, I have understood that they like to put the ball on the floor and go fast, and so both teams may be going up and down a lot tonight. Sean Gibson with a nice move to the basket. Scores and was fouled in the act of shooting, so he will get a chance for a three-point play.
That was a great move by Sean Gibson. Sean's a sophomore this year who never played like a freshman last year. Sean came in playing like an upperclassman with that steady poise all year long. Very consistent player.
Andy Piazza getting 3 fresh players into the lineup at this point in time. Number 50, John Honstrider. We also have number 12, a newcomer to the lineup this year, Clarence Rich. And number 21, 24, Tony Martin, as Sean Gibson cashes in on the free throw. The Mastodons with an 11-5 lead, but there goes a bucket down the middle. Number 22, Scott Neff, nice drive, and nobody picked him up.
Even though Huntington just scored a basket, right now this is the type of game that IPFW wants.
Yeah, they like to go up and down the floor. There goes number 22 again, Scotty Neff. And that's 2 straight drives down the middle, giving him a layup. And Huntington College keeps the score close at 11-9. And again, IPFW a little careless with the basketball. Unusual call.
Yeah.
No jump ball. And then a traveling call.
I think what the referee called there is Martin tried to get up with the ball.
Yeah.
As long as you're wrestling on the floor and do not attempt to get to your feet, you're okay. But once you try to scramble to your feet, it's called traveling. And I just stated this is the tempo that IPFW wants, but I don't know if it's the results the last few times up the court that they want.
That's right. They had that 11-5 lead, and then all of a sudden things have gotten tight again. They'll come clear across court to number 11. David Nichols is their shooter.
Right now we have 5 different players that started the game for IPFW. It'll be interesting to see as this game unfolds how these newcomers do in their IPFW debut.
Right, we have had 2 additional insertions into the lineup, as there is the 3rd basket for Scott Neff. Scott's got a hot hand at the moment and gives the Huntington College Foresters the lead at 12-11. Yeah, the 2 additional new faces in the lineup, Jeff Smiley, number 4 for IPFW, and number 42, Diedrich Jackson, freshman from Marion, Indiana. David Nichols hard to the basket that time, was blocked from behind by number 24, Tony Martin. But Tony got a piece of the arm as David went up for the shot.
Right now this game is going Huntington's way, Dave. They're getting their way, and they've gotten 2 breakaway baskets. And I think IPFW needs to make an adjustment. One of the guards or even the small forward has to get back. And I understand IPFW plays a pretty interchangeable game where someone has to get back. Maybe it's not the guard, but whoever is on the rotation after the offense has run through a couple of times. Whoever is at the top at the moment has to get back, whether it be a big man or a little man.
There is a responsibility for someone to be back in control. David Nichols hits the 2nd of the 2 free throws to extend the Huntington College lead to 2 points. I think I'd have to say at this time, too, Charlie, that Huntington College players are just beating IPFW to the ball when it's loose and when it's out on the floor. But there's a good move underneath by John Honstrider, and John gets his first bucket of the game.
Well, that's what you have, Dave. When you have nothing to lose, they're on the road. They're not supposed to win this game.
Yeah.
IPFW is at home. This is the IPFW tip-off tournament. This is their tournament. You're not supposed to come into this building and beat them in their tournament. So right now, Huntington has nothing to lose. So IPFW has to pull up those bootstraps and get going at it.
Right. Have a substitution also into the Huntington College lineup. As there we see a nice pass down to the baseline. David Nichols comes up with the basket. And David Nichols is their shooter, and the defense has got to be looking for him wherever he is and whoever might have the ball. Long three-point attempt by Jeff Smiley, and it's good for the IPFW Mastodons. And IPFW goes back into the lead. Nice defense that time. Good pressure by the Mastodons. And as the Mastodons went to the basket, a foul was drawn against David Nichols, number 11, Huntington College, his first foul. And Clarence Rich will go to the line to shoot two.
That was a very close play on that foul there. It was a good block, and you can see what good of an athlete that this Nichols is.
Yeah. It looked like the official that time called for a little body contact, even though he had been able to block the shot.
You can't blame no official on a play like that because you're anticipating the foul when you're that close to the basket and you're going in. And sometimes that referee will call that foul before the contact is made, and there may or may not be contact actually made.
Clarence cashes in on both free throws. 18-15 IPFW. Inside to the big guy, and he makes a nice move for his first basket, Sebastian Onyango. And then we get a turnover against the Mastodons.
That was a great move.
Yes, it was. And now we see fresh five coming in, the starting five coming back into the lineup for IPFW. 18-17 at the 14:07 mark of the first half. Substitution for the Foresters, number 10, Rob New, 6'6" junior.
It's interesting to see that post move. The pace has been so hectic, we haven't had a chance to see a set offense,
That's
half-court
right.
offense.
Sean Gibson comes up with a steal. Three-pointer by Kevin Shank, and Kevin's getting into this offense tonight, Charlie. And there we see a move made to the basket by James Smith, number 45 for the Huntington College Foresters, and a blocking foul.
Right now, Kevin Shank is doing what someone on this IPFW team has to do. Someone has to step up and take charge of this team.
And he's doing it, isn't he? He's getting a good job done.
And I know sometimes it's hard to do when you're bringing in 5 new players at a time. You're not substituting one at a time. Coach Piazza is bringing in 5 new players at a time. So sometimes it's tough to make that step up. But Kevin is doing that right now.
James Smith misses the first of the two-shot foul. He attempts number 2. And it's good. 21-18, IPFW in the lead. Glenn Howard with the ball on the right side, looking for some help. Scotty Townsend. Sean Gibson out front. Doug Ranke. Everybody's touched the ball, so they're moving it around, looking for that shot. Kevin almost had the three-pointer. Now Glenn does. Big rebound by Onyango. David Nichols. Left side, rebound, basket, no good. Tip up and in by Rob New, number 10. Kevin Shank on the far right side has the three-point wide open, but could not get it to fall. Rob New with a move to the basket, no good. Rebound by Sean Gibson.
I think what IPFW needs to do is get that ball inside and back out again, as opposed to a shot like that.
Yeah, because Huntington at the moment is kind of backing off and giving them that three-pointer to wait and see what they're going to be able to do with it. Nice block that time by Doug Ranke, saved by Scotty Townsend. And good hustle on the defense as the Mastodons come up with the ball.
A zone defense is very easy to play, Dave, if you're just swinging the ball around the outside and not really denting. Either you have to dent that zone on the dribble or dent it on the pass inside and then get it back out. Get that zone moving.
Work.
Yeah. Find the holes in the zone. Right now, IPFW is just, they're making some skip passes across the zone, but they're not. You have to dent it in and soften up.
Looks like at the moment maybe Huntington has gone to a man for man, and this time Glenn Howard kind of muffled the ball and kicks it out of bounds.
Things are at the moment going Huntington's way.
Yeah, they are. Jim Smith with his first basket puts Huntington College back into the lead. Lead's kind of seesawing back and forth. IBFW having some difficulty getting any kind of a rhythm to their offense.
But what you also can look at, things are going Huntington's way, but they're only up 1 point right now.
That's true. Now we have a chance for IPFW on a 5-on-2 break to see if they can come up with a basket here, and they should, and there it is by Glenn Howard. Now IPFW is going to extend that defense just a little bit down with the trap. Huntington handles it very well and gets a interesting play that time. Sean Gibson thought he had a real clean block, and I thought he did too.
Well, from here it looked very good, Dave.
Looked good from here.
We're sitting up here quite away from that play. And again, that could have been the play where the referee anticipates the foul.
You're right.
When someone's that close, with that open a shot, you don't expect them not to get the shot off without being fouled. And that could have been what happened that time, as happened a few moments ago on the other end of the court.
Well, one thing for sure, Sean had him stopped cold. There was going to be no basket scored that time. First free throw up and good by Darren Blockingler. Ties the score at 23. And Blockingler will shoot number 2. And he scores that one also. So Huntington College back into the lead, seesawing back and forth. Glenn Howard with a three-pointer, and he's good. A little over-aggressive on the defense that time and drew a foul. Foul going to be on Clarence Rich, number 12, his first.
As well as Huntington has looked out here, Dave, they are only up 2 points.
Yep, and they've had, like you say, they've had a lot of things going their way, but not been able to cash in on a lot of it, including right there an opportunity, although they finally get it. And the interesting thing is, Huntington College is not that big, but they're doing very well on the offensive rebounds.
And excuse me, a moment ago I said they were up 2 points. They were down 2.
Good defense that time, as we have in the lineup for IPFW now Scott Burkhart, number 54, John Honstrider coming back in. Number 4, Jeff Smiley coming back in. Coach Piazza is rotating his players, trying to keep those legs fresh here in the first half. Number 44, Darren Blocklinger with his first basket of the night.
Lynn Platt has to be happy with these Foresters, but he has to be also a little discouraged with playing this well and only being up 2.
Glenn Howard again with a three-pointer, no good. Scott Burkhart rebounds the ball, has it tipped out of bounds. So it'll be the Mastodons ball underneath their own basket. And I think I need to apologize to Jeff Smithy. I've been calling him Smiley.
But with all these new faces, Dave, it can be understood.
Well, keep me on the right track, Charlie. Hey, a three-pointer by Jeff Smithy. I guess I ought to talk about him more often, huh?
Again, another breakaway basket by Huntington. IPFW has to make an adjustment to that play. Someone has to get back.
John Hunstrader gets a bucket for the Mastodons. And John comes up with a steal and then throws it back. Loose ball all over the place here. John Hunstrader controls the rebound, and here comes the Mastodons pushing the ball up the floor pretty hard. And a charging foul is going to be called against Glenn Howard.
I think what Glenn has to do on that play is pull up Dave and take that 12 to 13-foot jumper, bank that off the glass. Glenn can make that shot. He has to take it.
Yeah, and he's tall enough and can leap up to where they're not going to stop that shot. Again, the offensive boards are really surprising to see Huntington College come up with so many. Oh, nice pass. Clarence Rich on the layup. Scores, and it's good.
That was a great pass off that break by Jeff Smithy.
Very nice pass.
When you see a play like that developing, you just hope the man filling that lane gets the ball. I saw Clarence working hard, filling that lane, and when you do that, you have to get that ball. You have to reward the people for filling the lane, for working hard. You give them that reward, give them the ball. You get the assist, they get the basket. Everybody's happy like that.
That's one of those that turned out just right, didn't it? Clarence will go to the line. Opportunity to make this a three-point play.
Jeff Smithy's looking very good early in this ball game, Dave.
Played well. Clarence scores, gives IPFW a 4-point lead, 34-30. We also have in the IPFW lineup for the first time tonight, Pat Murphy, number 40. And Murphy that time kind of made it difficult to come down that lane and made the guy change his shot a little bit.
Well, that will be that will be what he's supposed to do on this ball team this year.
Yeah.
Everyone has to have a role. You have 16 players, you're going to have 16 roles. When Pat's in that ball game, that's what he's supposed to do. Fill that lane up. Don't let anyone come down unmolested. Give them that foul. Take that charge. He's a blue-collar worker. That's what he has to do to be effective for this ball team.
Onyango shoots the first free throw, and it's good, as he's shooting a one-on-one. Second free throw on its way. Short. IPFW rebounds. Tony Martin. And down we come again with Jeff Smithy moving the ball. Clarence Rich on a three-pointer, no good. And then Onyango, a big rebounder. Strong kid inside there.
Yeah, he's looking very good on the inside.
44, Darren Blocklinger with a three-point play. So we're back to a tie ball game, 34-34 with a little over 7.5 minutes to play here in the first half.
That was a good fake by Smithy, but what I think would have been a little bit more effective, the fake and then maybe a cross-court pass, what you call a skip pass across court to someone that was a little bit more open.
Pressure defense by IPFW that time is going to give them a bucket as Tony Martin scored. And number 3, Marty Hale with a three-point play.
Right now, Dave, Huntington is hanging right in there, but you have to believe that as this ball game goes on, this pace will have to wear them down. They are nowhere near as deep as IPFW.
Even though they do like to go up and down the floor, don't they?
Exactly, and just as we stated, we have 5 fresh ball players coming in for IPFW. Yeah. This type of pace will have to wear Huntington down. If not in this half, at least in the second half.
Yeah. You
should see something transpired where you can tell that Huntington College is wearing down. But right now they're hanging right in there, hanging very tough.
We have a holding foul, I think, on that play where number 3 was trying to deny Kevin Shank the opportunity to get to the ball. IPFW will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Officials step in to try to get the players along the lane untangled. Scotty Townsend with the ball out to Glenn Howard inside. Nice pass. A block shot by Sebastian Onyango. That's one of the things he does well.
That was a great block. I had already started to say great move by Murphy.
It was a good move.
Oh, by Hanstrider, excuse me, but that was a great block.
Huntington College with a 37-36 lead. Just under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. And it's been a fairly fast-paced game, although both teams have missed some excellent scoring opportunities, Charlie, so the score is not especially high at this point in time.
Well, you can expect that, Dave. This is the first game of the season for IPFW. I think Huntington has had a game or two.
Yeah, I think they played at least one.
But this is the first game, and even in the second game, you're going to have some jitters. It takes a while to work all those bugs out. But they'll be okay as this game goes along. Once you get between those lines, you forget about all that.
Go. Yeah.
I made a mistake moments ago calling John Heinstrider Pat Murphy. These substitutions are.
Yeah,
I turned my head
and
Murphy's out and Heinstrider's in.
You see a 0 and you got to make sure it's got a 4 with it or a 5. And you see a move down the lane. Rob New for 2 points. Again, that's the third or fourth basket this half that Huntington's being able to just drive down the lane and come up with. A nice move that time by John Heinstrider, but he lost control of the ball. Steal by Scotty Townsend. Glenn Howard over to Kevin Shank. Inside pass, and John Heinstrider.
Heinstrider did a great thing the time before down the court. It's not always that bad to get your shot blocked, because after that, the person who blocked that shot will think they can block every shot that you take. So that little pump fake, and I think that's the situation we're going to have with Hanstrider and Onyango from this point on.
Yeah. Substitution for the Huntington College Foresters. Scott Neff was out for a while to get a breather, and he's back in. Ooh, wide open. Something happened on the defense there. As you see the slam dunk by Onyango.
That'll build his confidence up a little more.
Yeah, it will. Nice crowd here tonight, Charlie, and that kind of brought them alive a little bit.
Yes, it is. It was a nice crowd for the first game, and it seems none of those fans have left this ball game.
No,
trying to see who's going to face St. Francis tomorrow.
There you go. Glenn Howard from the deep right corner, 3 points.
With Onyango all over him.
Yes, he did. Glenn barely had enough daylight to get that ball past the corner of the backboard.
He has such a nice-looking shot, though.
IPFW in their trap defense, their corner trap. And here we see a foul called prior to Onyango having an opportunity to get the shot off.
From the looks of it, Dave, that's not a bad foul at all.
No, that's right.
Last year, Onyango only shot 45% from the stripe, so looking good, more, better every second.
Yeah.
We'll see in a moment just how good that foul looks.
Well, he's shot 2 before and hit 1 out of 2. We'll see how he does this time. First one's up and good.
But on the other hand, even if he makes these 2 free throws, you look at the momentum. 2 free throws are 2 points, but that dunk gets the crowd into the ball game. So that's more effective. These 2 points won't hurt you as much as that dunk, even though both are 2 points.
The second one is good.
He looked pretty good on this form in those 2.
He did that time. Well, it's a new year. You never know. 45% was last year. He's out to see what he can do this year. Oh, there we go. Nice skip pass back around. Got the open shot. Clarence Rich tried to knock it loose. Couldn't quite come up with the ball. And here we go with Scott Neff down the floor quickly. Good shooter. You can't leave him open, but he misses that one. Up and down the floor. They may wear us out, Charlie. They're not as fast as they're going up and down. And Glenn Howard likes that deep right corner.
Glenn looks good even if he misses that shot.
Yeah.
That's a good shot for him. He's wide open, and he has that type of range. He has to take that shot.
And we just saw John Hunstrader take that move that you were talking about before, Charlie, where he had Onyango right on him, but he didn't hesitate, went right at him, gave him the head fake, and got his bucket.
That's a perfect example. It's not, sometimes it's more to your benefit to get that first shot blocked. That's a great steal right there.
Great steal by David Nichols.
I think we're about to see Mike Pittman for the first time in this ball game.
Sebastian Onyango with a great rebound, a wide open putback, and he missed it. Well, it's early. First game of the season, anything can happen. Sean Gibson with a three-point shot. Missed it. Glenn Howard with a follow-up foul. Glenn's second.
Right now, we're seeing a lot of three-point shots, Dave, for the IPFW Mastodons. I still say what they need to do is punch that ball on the inside and get it back out, and then that'll make those shots a little more easy.
We see a couple of players in for the first time now for IPFW. Andy Liebert, number 20. Mike Pittman, number 10. Doug Reinke back into the lineup. Scott Burka, number 54, back into the lineup. And Scotty Townsend, I think, is staying in. I'm sorry, it's Clarence Rich is staying in.
Andy Liebert's making his IPFW debut along with Clarence Rich on the floor right now. The other three players on the court are returning for IPFW. Andy's a Division I transfer from the University of Maine. He played with Sean Gibson in high school.
So they're reunited here tonight for the first time in a couple of years. Huntington College hit one of two free throws to go back and take the lead. Scott Burkhart had no luck at all that time with two in-close shots, and they both roll around and drop out, but he was fouled. So we'll step to the free throw line with an opportunity to put this game back into a tie and perhaps exchange the lead, as we have seen several times during the course of this first half.
Again, this is the first game of the season, so there's really no such thing as an upset. You have to come in here ready to play no matter who you're playing, so you really can't say an upset. And back to that first game tonight, that's not really an upset. This is the first game of the season. St. Francis came in. They wanted it more than Indiana Tech, and they came out victorious.
They certainly did.
And the same thing with this game. We say that IPFW should wear these Foresters out, but they can't count on that. They have to go each time up the floor and do what they have to do and not count on them tiring out.
Got to get it done every time you got the ball.
Because when you get pumped up and get confidence, you don't get tired.
Doug Reinke went high that time for the rebound, pulled it down, and gets the ball into IPFW in a hurry. Scott Burkhart with another chance underneath, and again, can't quite get the ball to fall for him. David Nichols with a turnaround jumper for two. He's been quiet for a while.
Exactly. Burkhart's having a hard time on the other end, but he's getting good shots, and those shots are going to start falling.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure don't want him to stop taking them.
No.
IPFW patiently working the ball around the outside. Mike Pittman pushed the ball inside, got it knocked away a little bit. David Nichols on the layup missed, but follow-up good by Marty Hale. Nice follow-up.
That's about the fifth fast break, almost uncontested fast break that these forces have had. IPFW, again, they need to make an adjustment to make sure someone is back at all times.
Yeah, their defensive recognition is not perking on all fours right now. Three-pointer from the deep right side again, this time by Andy Liebert. The Foresters quickly down the floor. Scott Neff, aggressive young ball player.
They all are aggressive. And right now, they all are aggressive, and they're beating IPFW to the punch.
Yeah. Huntington leading by 4 points, 48-44. It's about as big a lead as anybody's had in this first half. But here's an opportunity to stretch it to 5 or 6.
On the other end of the floor, IPFW has to get the ball in the middle. A zone is most vulnerable when the ball is in the middle. You can do so many more things with the ball in the middle as opposed to on one side or the other. So they either need to punch that ball down the middle, the point guard, whoever's handling the ball up top, or one of the postmen need to flash and get the ball, then get some post-to-post action.
Scott Neff gets 1 of 2 to stretch the Forrester lead to 5 points, 49-44. Just a minute 3 left to go. Doug Ranke with a big rebound. Kicks it back outside. Mike Pittman. Not a lot of movement in that offense at the moment. Standing around, they need to get some things going, and we see Mike Pittman go down the middle. And they just couldn't get any smooth movement on the offensive end that time.
And I think that's mainly, Dave, because the postmen are not touching the ball. The postmen have to see the ball against that zone.
Got to move it inside, outside, and kick it back.
Because this is allowing the bottom men on that Huntington College zone to not work as hard as they have to.
And Huntington, with the ball and the shot clock off here, could wind it down for the last shot if they like. Can assure themselves of having a 5-point lead, perhaps 7 or 8. 11 seconds left on the clock. We see him move to the basket. He probably went to the basket a little too quickly, but he drew a foul. And Marty Hale will go to the line to shoot 2.
When things are going good for you, Dave, those types of things go your way.
Yeah, that's right.
That was an ill-advised drive, but he came out of it with the foul and a chance to score the 2 points.
Yeah, because he did go in a little too quickly. But Scott Burkhart was called for the foul. Scott's first, team's 10th. But it'll be a 2-shot free throw opportunity for Marty Hale, a 6'2 junior. We've seen a lot of action here tonight.
Yes. Marty's one of their returning players. He averaged 11 points last year, so he's no stranger to scoring points and going to the line.
He's an experienced ball player. Scott Neff gets a rest here just shortly before halftime. 8 seconds showing on the clock.
I think what we're seeing, Dave, tonight is good for IPFW to get a chance for these fans, along with Coach Andy Piazza and John Felski, to see some of these players in real game action.
And again, we're seeing a player for the first time tonight, number 23, Dwayne Shears.
But I think as the season transpires, what we have to see is Coach Piazza with a set amount of players, with his 8 or 9 players that he's going to depend on throughout the season. And someone will have to step up and take the leadership role.
He does have much greater depth this year than he's had before, and that will be a plus factor. IPFW throws the ball away with their last opportunity to score. So the half ends in a kind of typical fashion for IPFW in this first half. Not real sharp. Things not going in for them when they do get their good moves underneath on the offensive end, and defensively, again, just not able to stop that lane in some cases, some situations, and the Huntington Foresters come away with a 51-44 lead here at the end of the first half.
Well, right now what we're seeing, Dave, these Foresters have come in here to play. It's, again, the first game of the season. There are no upsets. Whoever has come in to play and whoever has improved over the summer. Right now, Huntington has more continuity than IPFW. IPFW is playing the 10 to 12 players, where Huntington is stuck with their 5 to 7 players.
Well, it will be interesting to see as the second half unfolds here in a few moments. Again, as you have indicated, IPFW with considerably more depth to go after here, and so we'll see how well the Huntington Foresters can keep up their pace, because they stayed right with that pace in the first half.
I think we'll see a change at the beginning of the second half, and I think we'll see Huntington wear down, and in addition to Huntington wearing down, we'll see IPFW get after it a little harder also.
Right. Well, with some unofficial scoring here, Charlie, at the first half, I have one of the leading scorers for IPFW, John Honstreiter, on non-starter, but came in and played the inside, came up with 4 buckets and has 8 points. We also have Kevin Shank with 3 field goals. One of those a 3-pointer, so he has 7 points. Glenn Howard has 8 on 2 3-pointers and a regular field goal. And Jeff Smithy had 2 3-pointers. So IPFW took a lot of 3-point shots, as you noted earlier in the game, that hit 5. So I'm not sure what their percent is. We'll see the stats here at halftime in a little bit. But perhaps they need to be a little more selective on that 3-pointer and look for some other opportunities.
Most of those shots were open shots, Dave, so you can't fault the guys for taking open shots. But those shots have to come from, first of all, an established inside game. An established inside game will open up your outside game. But right now, IPFW has yet to establish that inside game and has counted on their outside game. So what we should see, or what I hope to see in the second half, is for the postman to see the ball a little bit more and to spread the ball around a little bit.
Well, we're at halftime here at the IPFW Athletic Center, and as we have indicated, Huntington College is leading 51-44. We will be back for the start of the second half in just a few moments here at the IPFW 1990 tip-off tournament.
From Terre Haute to Richmond, from the shores of Lake Michigan to the banks of the Ohio River, Indiana is a place filled with tradition, achievement, and promise. Those characteristics are also reflected in the state's colleges and universities, in the quality of Indiana's system of higher education. But a shadow is moving over our campuses, and unless we move quickly, that shadow could become a dark cloud hanging over the state for many years. In an unprecedented move, the presidents of Ball State, Indiana University, Ivy Tech, Purdue, Southern Indiana, and Vincennes University have joined forces to sound a call for action.
We are calling for a commitment to quality for Indiana higher education. It must be a statewide effort, unified, coordinated, cooperative. Each of the state's 7 public institutions faces similar concerns, and the solutions are similar for each.
Indiana higher education. For many Hoosiers, it evokes a sense of pride and security, knowing that higher education contributes to our growth and prosperity. But the institutions themselves must focus on the demands of the future instead of their present accomplishments. The leaders of our colleges and universities have outlined several issues that must be addressed. If left unattended, they will affect the success of higher education in Indiana.
The time has passed when a college or university can be all things to all people. Through foresight and planning, Indiana's colleges and universities have developed distinct and yet compatible missions. Thus, we have an efficient and coordinated system of higher education.
The people of Indiana need not look outside the state for quality higher education. Our institutions offer top-ranked undergraduate study in both 2-year and 4-year programs, excellent graduate education and research facilities, and job and technical training. While a variety of degree choices are available at every school, each institution has several specialties, some of which are recognized worldwide.
Increasing the quality of our workforce encourages new businesses to locate in Indiana. College graduates hold a competitive advantage in the labor market. They make more money in their lifetime, and as a group they experience higher employment rates.
1/3 of Indiana citizens between the ages of 18 and 24 go to college. While this percentage is higher than in the past, it is still below the national average. Consequently, other states can offer a better educated workforce to attract business. The solution is to encourage more Hoosiers to go to college. We must provide access for all, with special emphasis on attracting minority and non-traditional students. Out of this class of high school students, only these will go to college. Many of the others will have the skills to further their education, and we must help them to take advantage of the opportunities.
But it's not enough just to encourage young people to continue their studies beyond high school. We must also do more to ensure they are successful in college. If their goal is an academic degree, we must ensure they have every opportunity to graduate.
Indiana has an investment in every student from the day he or she begins kindergarten. It is important that our students finish college because college graduates earn more money and contribute more to the state's economic stability. Of these college freshmen, only these will graduate with a degree. We must focus our efforts on retaining students and assuring the best possible opportunity for them in the job market.
Indiana's public institutions are at a severe disadvantage compared to our peers nationally and in neighboring states. It is difficult to retain and attract top-notch professors. Far too frequently, our faculty members leave us for higher salaries at other institutions. That has to stop if we hope to maintain high quality in our institutions.
The quality of higher education depends upon the quality of the teachers in the classroom. But there's a high demand for qualified professors in many fields and a shrinking pool of available talent. In the next 10 years, 70% of our current faculty will retire or leave Indiana. Our 7 institutions are competing with over 3,400 colleges and universities nationwide for the best talent. To maintain quality in the classroom, we must offer competitive salaries.
We also live in a global economy. With the opening of new markets in Eastern Europe, businesses need to be competitive on an international level. The only way Indiana can compete is to provide graduates with the skills needed in the world marketplace.
The world is becoming a smaller place, and Indiana businesses must look outside our borders to overseas markets. Our state currently trades with every country in the world, and the volume of trading will continue to increase in the future, accounting for a substantial change in business strategies. Higher education is the key to preparing Hoosiers to compete in a global economy.
During the last 20 years, the national economy has changed from one based on heavy manufacturing to service industries. That has hit Indiana hard. Higher education is the way to provide the educated workers who will attract new industries and enable our current industries to remain in Indiana.
Jobs requiring training beyond high school are on the rise. It's important that higher education look to the future and prepare workers today for jobs tomorrow. We must have the facilities and the people to teach students how to use technology. The only way business and industry can succeed in the future is if higher education provides the skilled employees. Indiana is blessed with a strong system of higher education. Currently, Hoosiers need not look outside the state to find a quality school to fit their needs. But there are changing trends and growing problems which we must address now to ensure success in the future. Our 7 public institutions are united in calling for a commitment to quality. The system of higher education we have today was charted 20 years ago. The question now is what kind of university these Hoosiers will attend. The choice is up to us.
Welcome back to the IPFW Athletic Center as we await in just a moment the second half of the second game of the IPFW tip-off tournament here tonight. And this 1990 IPFW tip-off tournament is brought to you in part by the Downtown Sertoma Club. The Sertoma Club once again is involved with the tip-off tournament after a 3-year absence. We welcome them back and look forward to many more successful tip-off tournaments. Well, Charlie, we're just a few seconds away from the second half. Any thoughts here as to what we might anticipate?
Well, I expected Huntington to tire out a little bit more than they did in that first half. Right now, the worst thing that probably could have happened to Huntington is halftime. They had the momentum going in, and I know Coach Platt hopes that halftime will not be a letdown of the momentum because you had play stopping, and now as time starts back in, I know IPFW is ready to go after it.
Well, we saw all 15 players off of the IPFW bench in that first half. We'll see what kind of opening lineup Coach Piazza has, and then how much of a rotation he keeps in there with that every 4 or 5 minutes fresh people in during that first half. And a very, very quick pace.
I think Coach Piazza wants to get a chance to look at some different combinations, to get a chance to look at all 15 players, but you have to win this ball game. So I think what he's going to do is come out and try to gain control of the ball game and then maybe get a chance to look back at some more different combinations.
Right. Well, we'll see how things go. We do note from the first half shooting that things were fairly even. Huntington College in the field goal department hit 18 out of 42 for 43%. IPFW, interestingly enough, took fewer shots, hit 17 out of 39 for 44%, so that's about the same. Big difference in the field goal percentage, where Huntington College, I believe, hit like 5 out of 7. IPFW 5 out of 12. So IPFW was, as you had noted, firing up a lot more of the three-point shots. So we'll open up here in the second half with Huntington College inbounding the ball and getting the action started in this final 20 minutes of tonight's tip-off tournament.
This half, Dave, expect IPFW's big man to see a little bit more of the ball, a little more inside-outside action than we saw in the first half.
And that will cause Huntington to have to work a little more on the difficult defense. IPFW opening up here with a zone defense. Need to be real conscious of where 2 or 3 particular guys are. And again, on the offensive board. Guy's not big enough to be doing that, but he did. Good move, good hustle by David Nichols as he opens the second half with a 2-point rebound basket.
That's one of the biggest disadvantages of a zone. It's hard to find a man to block out. When you're playing man-to-man, you have an assigned man to block out. In the zone, you're blocking out an area. So sometimes you may block out an area and there's no man to input into that area.
Huntington opening up the second half also with his own defense, and now we'll see if IPFW will look for some seams and make that zone work a little bit. Inside. Doug wasn't quite ready for it, looked like. Well, an interesting little incidental call there to begin the second half.
You won't see that one too often. IPFW got a lucky break. That could have been a foul on Shank. Very easily.
Inbounded and around the horn now, and IPFW again on that perimeter. Let's see if they're able to break that zone.
They need to get a little bit more aggressive on the inside.
Sean Gibson put up a good jumper, but again, not a lot of movement on that offense. And Doug Ranke will be called for the foul, his second.
All night, IPFW has gotten open three-point shots, but I like Huntington's strategy. I'll give it to them until they prove they can make it consistently. Take away that inside game and give them the three-point shot until they make it.
Make them show they can be productive with it.
Exactly.
Scott Neff with the ball. Scott's played a good ball game for Huntington here tonight. And the inside pass, a great move with Onyango coming up with 2 points here early in the second half.
Those are the types of things that IPFW has to do, just what Huntington did on the other end.
And Huntington College has quietly opened up an 11-point lead here, Charlie, at the start of the second half. Sean Gibson again with that jumper, and this time he cashes in. IPFW needed that badly.
Very badly.
Full court pressure defense. But we see this time a double dribble, and the pressure defense caused the mishandle. David Nichols would like for there to have been a foul call, but I don't think there was contact in that case. He just threw him off balance a little bit.
That's what this defense is designed to do. Keep the opponent off balance. And also to keep that up-tempo game going. There's a good
we got the inside, outside, and he got the result of a three-point play. Clarence Rich. Trap defense on the half court. Kevin Shank with the good defense coming up, and here we go. Clarence Rich on the drive. He misses it. IPFW considerably more alert now on the defensive end of the floor. And we see an aggressive move inside by Nyando, and he draws the foul on Sean Gibson.
I think you hit it right on the head, Dave. I think IPFW is more alert this half.
They're much more aggressive defensively, and it's going to help them on the offensive end also.
A lot of what their defense is their offense a lot of times, and that's what that defense is designed to do, to get good, quick, easy shots off the defense, which is actually part of your offense.
Well, there we see a shot falling short by Onyango.
Now he's looking like a 45%
there
shooter.
You do. Another 4 or 5 minutes of action, and we'll also see what the fatigue factor might become. Nice follow that time by David Nichols, and he comes up with it a second time. Somehow those Huntington Foresters are getting in there too much on that offensive board.
That was a great hustle. He's been in there all night. He's a good athlete, but you have to put a body on him. That's what you have to do to good athletes, put a body on him.
IPFW has picked up 3 quick fouls here at the beginning of the second half, as we see substitutions inside. John Heinstrider and Dedrick Jackson into the post play. Clarence Rich pressuring down underneath. Good defense again, very alert that time. Good pass ahead. Clarence Rich with another opportunity on a fast break, and this time he cashes in.
Clarence runs that court awfully well. He's always down there on the receiving end of a pass.
And we see the missed slam dunk by the big guy underneath. But the ball comes back, then that offensive rebound. And Matt Holman comes up with his first basket of the evening, a three-pointer. IPFW had a bit of a run going at that point in time, and that slows it down considerably. Ben Howard coming back into the IPFW lineup.
IPFW's in a bad situation that time. You look at either you get the dunk and the crowd gets into the game, but what turned out, you get the missed dunk and then you get the three-pointer.
From a point standpoint, they'd have been better off if he'd have hit the slam dunk.
Yes. And ultimately, that's what counts, what's on the scoreboard.
Huntington College again with that socked-in zone defense, and we see looked like a big guy got away with one that time. John Heinstrider stayed right with it and gets his basket, and he'll have a three-point opportunity. Excellent play by John Heinstrider.
He's making me look like a genius up here again. Once you get that shot blocked, the next time you get it, use that fake.
Go right back with it, yep.
Exactly.
Well, IPFW now, after falling behind by 11, has been able to cut it to 5 and perhaps even further down to 4 with this free throw as John is about to step up. Number 45, Jim Smith, coming back into the Huntington lineup, replaces Matt Holman. James Smith is a 6'4" freshman. Seeing a good bit of playing time here tonight.
Yes, he's a good athlete.
John Heinstrider at the line. Free throw up. No good, but rebound by Scotty Townsend. And the three-point opportunity put back up, no good. Glenn Howard had the good shot, and then it came off of the hands of Scotty Townsend. Oh, good defense again. Made Huntington do something they really didn't need to do.
Another end here, Dave. On that free throw, Onyango committed a cardinal sin. He just went for that basketball. You have to put a body on the person next to you in that lane instead of just going to the ball. That was a look inside, but it was a bad pass.
Well, he had two possibilities to throw that ball inside. One was long, one was short. He went the longer route and got it picked off.
Sometimes what happens to offensive players on a play like that, you see two players wide open, so you say I could throw it to either one, so you kind of just throw it in the middle there, and I think that's what
and
happened.
hope they go together.
Yeah.
Well, Huntington's kind of sitting back and waiting for the Mastodons now to keep whittling down at that margin. Then they're getting inside. Like you had said, they've got to get inside. And John Honstreiter is really doing a job in there.
That's going to be the key to this ball game. Get that ball, punch that ball inside. You may get Onyango in some foul trouble. And if we get him out of the ball game, they'll be very weak inside.
That's Onyango's second foul, the team's second foul of the half. And John Honstreiter steps to the line to shoot two. First one is good.
When you're in your half-court offense, it is ultimately important to get that ball to the inside postman. From time to time, every second or third pass, the postmen need to touch that ball. Not only just to create some continuity, but to make them feel like they are part of that offense.
And this first 5 minutes of the second half, IPFW has had good success in getting that ball inside. Huntington College on the offense again. Makes the move. Good steal by Clarence Rich. He's going to go all the way, and he scores. 2 points for Clarence Rich. And now we have a 58-56 ball game, more like most of the first half when it was very close, very tight. 2 3-point game. Nice pass and a slam dunk again by Sebastian Onyango.
He got that dunk down, but Onyango is tired right now, Dave.
Yeah, he's looking for where he can find a lot of oxygen. Glenn Howard may be a little over anxious to take that three-pointer.
That was an NBA three-pointer right there,
was.
Dave.
He could have stepped on up and gotten a little better. Couple of substitutions now as we have Kevin Shank back in the lineup. And
Clarence Rich did an excellent job while he was in there. He got out on the break, played great defense, just a great job. That's what he has to do to contribute to this team this year.
Andy Liebert, also Dedrick Jackson in the lineup to give a little inside defense as we see the outside three-pointer by Marty Hale. And here we go again. All of a sudden, Huntington College finds a way to stretch that lead back out to 7. 63-56. And again, the pump fake.
Exactly.
He listens to you, Charlie. Nice move by John Honstreiter.
I thought Onyango might have got a little smarter. He didn't go for the first pump, but he go for that second one.
Now John needs to start cashing in on these free throws also, so he can make those three-point opportunities.
Dedrick Jackson did a pretty good job while he was in there also.
Yes, he did. John Honstreiter to the line. And this time he is good. He's 2 for 4 at the free throw line. IPFW with the full court defense. Scott Neff, James Smith, long pass to the deep corner. Little inadvertent trip that time. John Heinstrider didn't seem to argue any with that.
Right now, Heinstrider is taking on the role of leading this team right now. He's getting the ball inside, and he's doing some good things with the basketball.
IPFW quickly down the floor. They've got a 3-on-2 lead. And Clarence, or Scotty Townsend that time, took it coast to coast. Scotty's first basket of the ball game. I didn't realize he hadn't scored yet.
Scotty's playing a good floor game. He's running the team very effectively.
Ooh, travel, but he let it go. All right, basket by Sebastian Inyago.
I think the referees that time may have been looking at what kind of dunk Onyengo was going to do instead of watching his feet.
Didn't see the feet shuffle.
Because he definitely moved him.
65-61. And John Heinstrider just flat out taking it to the big guy inside. I think he's going to have another foul. As he does draw his third foul.
Now, right now, this is when IPFW has to go right at these Foresters and punch the ball inside, get some more post movement. They've seen what's happened to this basketball game with Onyengo in the basketball game, but with him out of the game, they really have to punch it inside.
And there we see a nice inside play, and Sean Gibson with 2. We're back to a 2-point ball game. And lots of defensive pressure being put on at the moment by the Mastodons. And Sean Gibson with good inside defensive position drew the foul on number 10, Rob New. Rob not too happy with the call, but I don't think there was much doubt about it. Sean had good defensive position.
Yes, he did. And right now, Dave, I think we see Huntington College wearing down a little bit. Each time up this court against this press, they're breaking it, but 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. It gets a little tougher each time down the court.
And they're going to have to keep doing that for 12 and a half minutes, I have a feeling.
Exactly. Because IPFW should just keep running these fresh players in there. And also right now, they're getting some continuity.
And Sean Gibson is getting some inside position and gets an offensive rebound. Starts back up and draws the foul.
He got that shot off and missed by Doug Ranke. Doug Ranke has to go up stronger with that move, especially with Onyengo out of the game. And even with Onyengo in the game with the foul trouble, Ranke at 6'9" has to take it to the bucket with more authority than he just showed.
So Sean Gibson will shoot 2. And an opportunity to tie this ball game up. First one is good. So we've got a 65-64 score. Huntington College clinging to a 1-point lead at the moment. Sean Gibson with an opportunity to tie. And he does.
Gibson's a 76% shooter from last year.
And the defensive pressure again on the Huntington Foresters causes a turnover. IPFW with an opportunity to take the lead.
There you go. This press is starting to give Huntington some trouble right now.
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 minutes of action have created a lot of difficulty, a lot of problems for Huntington ball handling. And IPFW has kept that pressure up relentlessly, and now they go. We have an interview for you here with one of the IPFW basketball players, sophomore.
I think we have a lot of potential, and if we get everyone playing together in the way they're supposed to be playing, I think we could be contenders for a pretty high position in the GLVC.
You guys were picked, was it 3rd or 4th?
Fourth.
Yeah, you're going to do better than that, though, right?
I think they rated us so low because we we lost Lawrence Jordan and Lloyd Surgeon, and we have so many new people coming in. And I think they don't know anything about us, so they're ranking us low.
We're back at the IPFW Athletic Center live. IPFW is about to inbound the ball underneath their own basket, and an opportunity to take the lead here, Charlie, for the first time in the second half, obviously, and for the first time in quite a while in this ball game.
Exactly, and again, we have a change of some personnel in here. Jeff Smithy running the ball club right now. Scotty Townsend did a great job.
Yes, he did. Andy Liebert in the ball game. Sean Gibson follows, missed the ball. They keep it alive. Doug Ranke back with the ball. He goes up and in. They stayed with it that time, Charlie, until the ball went in, and that's a good hustle.
Very instrumental on that volley right there was Kevin Shank, keeping that ball alive.
That time Huntington College got the ball down and broke the press as Darren Blocklinger made the move to the basket and was fouled in the act of shooting. So he'll have a couple of free throws and an opportunity to retie the ball game.
That play on the other end started after maybe an ill-advised shot by Jeff Smithy. I think Jeff just coming in the game. He's a little cold. He needs to rim the offense, let the ball go through a few times, get the blood flowing a little bit, and then take that open jumper.
Darren Blocklinger hits the first free throw. Just under 12 minutes to play. And we have a 1-point game, perhaps a tie here at the end of this next free throw. And he hits it. IPFW quickly down the floor. Looking again to keep the inside opportunity, the inside-outside thing that's been so good for them here lately. And Doug Ranke goes inside, goes up, misses it, but Sean Gibson follows, and Ranke follows, and they're staying with it. And they have a jump ball on the offensive rebound.
Ranke's doing a good job in there, but he has to be a little bit more aggressive going to the bucket. He has to come out of a play like that with either the 2 points, 3 points, or go to the foul line for 2 shots. Then again, that's easy for me to say sitting up here.
You remember that it wasn't quite that easy a few years ago when you were down there on the hardwood, don't you? Well, the alternate possession gives the ball to IPFW, so again they'll have an opportunity here to retake the lead. And Clarence Rich with a three-pointer from the corner, no good, but rebounded by Scotty Townsend. He's setting up the offense, wanting to get some things moving. Sean Gibson with the... And Doug Ranke is called for an offensive foul on the inside, jockeying for position. Huntington College will inbound the ball to the far end of the floor underneath the IPFW basket. 11 minutes and 14 seconds of action to go here in the second game, and it's a tie ball game. Okay, the defense this time, and we have a foul called against Clarence Rich. Both teams will be in the bonus after. I'm sorry, this is the 7th foul this half for IPFW, so Huntington College will step to the line.
Clarence just got a little anxious on that play.
Yeah, he did.
It was a good attempt, but he's just a little bit anxious. You should have let him get the ball and then make the trap after the ball gets inbounded.
So Scott New will shoot the 1-and-1. Round and no good. So the game remains tight. Inside pass to Sean Gibson. He misses. Followed. Great rebound by Dedrick Jackson. Back outside to Scotty Townsend. And Scotty hits a two-pointer. And the ball is loose. Now Huntington College inbounds.
Scotty's doing a great job of taking what the defense is giving to him. Plus, he's doing a great job running this IPFW offense.
And the offense, yeah. And Glenn Howard that time with a good move on the defense. And he goes in for the bucket. And IPFW, for the first time in a while, opens up a 4-point lead. The pressure defense is wearing at Huntington just a little bit. They're not slowing down much.
They're hanging right in there. It's just a question of how long can they keep up this pace. And to this point, they're not doing a bad job at all. But you can tell there is some wear on them.
Oh, nice move underneath by Dedrick Jackson. I think Dedrick got his first basket of the night.
And a great basket it was, Dave. He used his body and used the left hand very effective.
And we see a steal by Clarence Rich over to Scotty Townsend, and we get another 2. And we probably have a careless foul there on the part of Glenn Howard.
Again, that was a foul out of hustle, but what IPFW has to do is not reach and not bump. Just make the good trap and keep hustling.
Yeah, wasn't any real good purpose for that foul. And it sends a pretty good shooter to the line, David Nichols.
And also that gives them a little bit of a chance to rest.
Yeah. Well, IPFW has now moved into a 75-69 lead, a 6-point lead. Their biggest lead perhaps of the game. I don't remember early that they had one that big. They had 3, 4, 5-point leads a couple of times.
I think they scored the first bucket of the game, and maybe Huntington turned around and shot a 3-pointer and made it, and maybe it was 4-3.
As Dave Nichols cashes in on both free throws. Well, IPFW up the floor, this time for a set offense. And they've caused Huntington to come out and to get much more movement on their defense, because IPFW's been able to get that inside.
And that was one of the keys to the ball game.
First half they had all kinds of difficulty getting that inside ball, and now they're getting it. They're kicking it back outside, getting much better movement. Plus the players are moving. First half they were standing around a little bit.
Exactly. And that's what establishing a post game will do for you. It'll open up all other facets of your game.
3-point shot by Clarence Rich. Anyango, by the way, is back in the lineup for the Huntington College Foresters. They must feel they've got to have a little more of that strength on the inside. Again, the ball movement was very good by Huntington, and they found Anyango underneath. Eight minutes and about 15 seconds to play in the second half. IPFW with a 5-point lead, 78-73. Clarence Rich with a nice feed underneath. Scotty Townsend couldn't quite find the handle on the basketball and couldn't get the shot away. And then on the exchange, we see a foul on Clarence Rich.
Again, that foul gives this Huntington team a chance to rest on this line, and also you have to remember that they are not going up against that pressure defense this time. So another positive point for Huntington and negative for IPFW. IPFW, that trapping defense is spearheaded by 2 former defensive MVPs from their respective junior colleges, Scotty Townsend and Clarence Rich.
Rob New hits the first of 2 free throws and now will shoot the bonus. As we saw the Mastodon trying to put the hex on him, but it didn't work. He hits them both. IPFW on the move. Scotty Townsend's jump shot at the top of the key. And here comes the Huntington Foresters. Up and down we go. And that time Scott Neff drew the foul on Clarence Rich. It's going to be number 4, and Clarence has been playing good ball here lately.
Yes. Something that's not mentioned very much, these referees are actually calling a very good ball game. Never been too many discrepancies. And again, when you're playing as up and down as these 2 teams have played, there's as much chance of the fouls.
They'll sleep well tonight, won't they? Scott Neff at the line. First one is good. He'll get the bonus. And we're back to a 2-point ball game. We have some fresh players in the lineup for IPFW. Jeff Smithy and Liebert. Second free throw is good by Scott Neff. Smithy with the ball over to Kevin Shank. Looking inside for John Honstreiter, but John couldn't quite get his position. A lot of shoving going on inside there.
Well, that's better than it was the first half. At least you can tell they're alive down there.
Nyong'o's playing pretty aggressively to have 4 fouls. Smithy with a three-pointer. His third of the game. And IPFW needed that kind of action at that point in time. And a return three-pointer by Marty Hale. And when they break that press, they kind of set a man over there in that deep corner.
Exactly. And nothing against Smithy and Liebert, but they are just not as effective as Rich and Townsend on spearheading that trap defense.
Hey, nice move by Sean Gibson against the big guy with his 4 fouls. He couldn't afford to try to slow that shot down. Then we see another three-pointer to counteract the shot. He misses that time.
That was a big leap move by Gibson on the other end just a moment ago, Dave.
Yes, it was. I think he realized he had the big guy with 4 fouls on him. And there they got a little clear out. Scotty New penetrating that lane. He's an active ball player. Active ball player.
There's no dying these forces right now. They're hanging right in there.
IPFW is yet to shoot the bonus free throws in this second half, whereas Huntington College is stepping up to that free throw line regularly.
Well, that's how the game has consistently gone. You have Huntington, who is attacking the basket, and IPFW, for the most part of this game, has been settling for the outside shots, although there has been more inside action this half than they had in the first half.
Dwayne Shears is in the IPFW lineup as we see Scott Neff hit his free throw. That's 3 in a row for Scott. He goes for 4, and he can close this to a 1-point ball game.
Right now, Dave, it's very interesting to see, with 6 minutes and 13 seconds to go, who from IPFW is going to step up and take on the leadership of this ball team.
And they're going to have to keep going at the big guy, I think, in the middle, because he's got to be careful with his 4 fouls. Sean Gibson with the short jumper, and it's good.
There may be a candidate right there.
Sean has really come alive here in the last 5-6 minutes of action. You see an excellent play there, although he didn't get the ball. He tipped it out of bounds. And he's working hard.
Sometimes, Dave, just what you just said, he's working hard. That's the best way to lead. And lead by example, and sometimes other players will see that, and they'll start hustling.
And we see the inside move by Sebastian Nyong'o, and he has had a big half.
This kid's a good ball player. You see very seldom that he gets the ball in the post with a chance to make a move, but when he has gotten it in that situation, he's made good moves.
Another three-point try, and then we see Jeff Smithy cashing in. He's got 4 buckets tonight, and they're all three-pointers.
He's looked real good running the offense, and also making some offense himself.
There, I think we saw a fatigue factor, an in-close jumper, and he came up much short.
In the first half, that goes in, Dave, or at least draws iron.
Yeah. Pretty good move there by Rob New. He was determined, I think, and the defense didn't pick up that he was going to keep right on going. 88-86, just under 5 minutes to go.
Rob New looks like a man among boys out there. He set out 4 years.
Yeah, he's a little older. He's inexperienced, and here we see Jeff Smithy again trying his little careless return pass. Rob New shoots from outside, and he hits a 3, and now Huntington College is back into the lead with 1 point.
I think that was too quick of a shot by Smithy again. He's looked very good, but every now and then, 2 shots that I noticed that he's taken that were a little ill-advised.
And there we see the inside move, an excellent move again.
That's
and John Honstreiter, nice inside pass. Oh, they challenged him, and it was a good move. Good move by Dwayne Shears. Make him see if he can go up over you.
That is a good foul. Make them earn those 2 points from the foul line. Keep the crowd out, and then I take a chance on this 1989-1990 45% shooter.
Well, we've got 4 minutes and 2 seconds left in this basketball game, Charlie. We've got a lot of action left, I'm sure. It's a 90-89 lead at the present for IPFW, but Huntington College has the opportunity with 2 free throws coming up to tie or retake the lead, as we've seen many, many times tonight.
Exactly. What IPFW, I think, needs to do is get Townsend and Rich back in that ball game.
We have an interview for you with another of the IPFW basketball players, the new point guard this year for IPFW, Scotty Townsend.
Yes, so far it's been a different type of system than when I came from junior college, but I've adjusted pretty well, since I've, been a transfer here. And the team has been getting along pretty well and stuff like that. We have like 7 or 8 guys that has transferred, or new guys on the team this year, besides 2 freshmen that we have. So the team is pretty much coming along pretty good with a good, pretty good bind. So it's been fun so far.
Well, this timeout comes to an end with IPFW clinging, I guess it's about as good a way as you can say it, to a 1-point lead.
Right. What I was alluding to before the break in the action, Dave, I think IPFW needs to get Scotty Townsend and Clarence Rich back on the front of that pressure defense. That caused Huntington a lot of problems, and that was very effective, along with coinciding with Honstridter's play on the inside. That's what got them back into this ball game.
Clarence Rich got into a little bit of foul trouble, so we may see him yet. First free throw is missed. And Nyong'o missed his 3rd in a row. He has another opportunity. Yeah, I was going to say, it looks pretty good, and he drops it in. So we've got a tie ball game, 90-90, and 4 minutes to play. Scotty Townsend back in the IPFW lineup to run the offense. Kevin Shank, Glenn Howard. Inside, we've got Doug Ranke and Sean Gibson. Good ball movement. Good shot. Didn't fall.
That was a great ball movement.
Yeah.
Both postmen touched that basketball that time, and that's what transpired for IPFW to get a good shot.
Yeah, they had the inside-outside going. It just, the shot didn't fall. Now we'll see what Huntington chooses to do with it. They're standing a little bit. Good hustle by Kevin Shank that time. He cuts off that pass going down the lane.
That was a great hustle by Shank.
Couldn't intercept it and keep from traveling at the same time, but he shut down any offensive possibility for Huntington.
I stated earlier, IPFW needs Townsend and Rich at the front of that pressure defense. Kevin Shank is more than capable of playing that same position also. So this group of 5 players can also be very effective on that break, or pressure defense, excuse me.
So Scott Neff, David Nichols, 2 big guy underneath, and he bounced his way through there. And Huntington has regained the lead. That's his 6th basket of the second half, Charlie. So he's played a very strong inside game.
Dave, what I thought would happen has not happened with only a little bit over 2.5 minutes to go. Huntington has not worn down.
And we see an excellent move to the basket by Kevin Shank. I think they will count the basket. But number 10, Rob New, who has played a very strong inside game, drew the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line and can regain the lead for IPFW, or for Huntington College, I'm sorry. Coach Andy Piazza of IPFW may not have agreed with that call. It's a tough one to make.
Well, actually, the call worked out somewhat in IPFW's favor, but I do not like the call. That has to either be a no call or a no basket.
Yep. It's awfully hard to see how you can score the basket, then charge.
But in this case, it worked out in IPFW's favor.
Rob New hits the first free throw. Huntington takes a 93-92 lead. It's a little over 2.5 minutes to play. And he hits the second one. 13 free throws for the Huntington Foresters in this second half alone. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Glenn Howard with a three, and he needs it badly, but he didn't get it. And he got out hustled for the ball, and a sandbagger down on the offense, and we see 2 points.
They've been doing that all night, Dave.
Yep.
And IPFW has yet to really adjust to it. We hadn't seen it in a while, but they have been very effective with that play.
Yeah. There's not been that backcourt defensive assignment responsibility that has picked up. So Huntington College now has jumped into a 4-point lead, 96-92. Minute 45, which means still anything can happen because both teams have been jumping up and down with leads and counter leads and baskets coming through, but it's getting down now to where it's important to execute
exactly
each time.
There's still plenty of time left, but for a 4-point lead with a minute 45, and if I had a choice of having 92 or 96, I'd take 96.
I'll take the 96.
But there's still plenty of time.
Although I suspect, Charlie, that it'll take 100 points to win this ball game.
I think so, Dave.
Well, we're pleased to bring you the cablecast of athletic competition here at IPFW. We hope you've enjoyed the games and the excitement of intercollegiate sports at IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of student workers and volunteers, we're able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help to defray the production costs not covered by the university budget. College Cable Access Channel 6 at IPFW invites you to invest in quality college programming. Back to the action. IPFW inbounds the ball. They have about 30 seconds on the shot clock.
There's plenty of time, Dave, but IPFW needs to come away with the bucket this time now out of a good shot.
Execution is going to be very important this time. Glenn Howard again goes for three, and he doesn't get it, and there's not the rebound there. So Huntington College, interesting opportunity now. Pressure defense out front. We'll see if they keep going to the basket. I think they probably should. The shot clock suggests you ought to go one more time. They call a timeout. We'll see what kind of strategy is employed by IPFW and Huntington College. We have an interview here for you during this timeout. Coach Andy Piazza of IPFW will give a short overview of the freshman players on this year's varsity team.
Is there anybody out of the freshman pool that may have surprised you a little bit?
Jeff Smithy from Greenwood Center Grove High School has been kind of a pleasant surprise. He will be one of the point guards along with Scotty Townsend from Muskegon, Michigan, both newcomers to our program this year. Usually freshmen, we don't anticipate them coming in right away and being productive members right away. We're happy if they do that, but we don't put that much pressure on them that they have to come in right away and produce. And Jeff's just had an outstanding preseason. He's just gotten better and better every week. He's a good perimeter shooter, kind of a heady type player, but the unique thing about Jeff is he's pretty strong mentally in that he'll make a couple mistakes and not get down on himself and not cause his play to even go farther down. He just turns around, tries to do the right things, and he has that quiet confidence that sometimes is lacking.
Back to the action now.
High school.
31 seconds on the shot clock for Huntington College as they inbound the ball and a minute 13 to play here in the second half. And we have a foul on IPFW. Kevin Shank. And it will send number 22, Scott Neff, to the line. Scott's hit his last 4 free throws, and he's 5 for 7 for the game.
That foul was a little quick, Dave. Right now, there's a minute and 11 to go. You can there's still plenty of time. You just have to play good defense. It's not panic time yet.
Scott hits the first and looks for the second. And he bounces the second one in also. Never hurts to have a little roll. 6-point lead. A little over a minute to play. Well, Sean Gibson that time went at the big guy to try to perhaps draw the 5th foul, but he was fouled before he got that far down the lane.
That's a good play. And on the other end, before the ball was inbounded, you've seen a very heads-up play by Gibson. He rolled the ball in, and you must remember the clock does not start until the inbounding player touches the ball. So he saved about 2 or 3 seconds right there, and now there's a chance to get 2 points without the clock moving. Very heads-up play by Gibson on both ends.
Those 2 seconds, yes, could be very important in just a minute or two. John Heinstrider coming back into the ball game. Provides inside strength and has played a good, solid game tonight. Sean's second one, no good. It had to be hit by Huntington College because the other guy wasn't big enough to touch the ball. So Jeff Smithy did the job that time merely by being there and in the way.
Exactly. Created the pressure and caused the Huntington player to just swing at the ball, and it inadvertently went up to the top of the bucket.
Don't get in too big a hurry. Got to get a good shot. Don't think Heinstrider was quite ready to receive the ball that time. May have been in too tight for a pass off, but we had an opportunity there and lost it. John Heinstrider with the foul.
I think that time John thought Sean was going to try to go up with the shot, and he was getting into position for the rebound. And then Sean didn't have anywhere to go, so it was a smart move on him to try to get the ball. Heinstrider was open, but not ready for the ball.
So Marty Hale will step to the free throw line. He's 1 for 2 for the night. This will be his 3rd opportunity at the free throw line. 52 seconds. There's been a lot of action here, Charlie, but only maybe, what, 12 seconds off the clock?
Exactly. And that's when you get into this kind of time, there's a lot of action that goes on. 52 minutes, 52 seconds can last almost 52 minutes.
You're right.
But 52 seconds sometimes lasts a good 2 or 3 minutes at least.
Like you said earlier, I still like that 98. First one bounces around and in. The last 2 free throws have been of the variety that found all the rim and then finally went down the middle.
Exactly.
But they all count. Second one is nothing but net. 7-point lead for the Huntington Foresters, 50 seconds. IPFW is going to need a 3-pointer here, but they also need a 2-pointer, so get the best basket you can at this point. Kevin Shank challenged the big guy, and they can't get it to drop. Rob New rather, with the rebound, and will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. And things are beginning to look a little bleak for the IPFW Mastodons here in their opener in 1990. Things just haven't bounced right for them, Charlie, among other things.
Some of our statements at the beginning of the game are coming back to haunt us. Again, this is early in the season, and there are no upsets. It's whoever comes in more ready to play on a given night.
Yeah.
And it just seems tonight that Huntington wanted this ball game a little bit more than IPFW. And also, I think they had a little more continuity, and that may or may not have been with the exchange of players, the style in which the IPFW players were shuttled in and out of this ball game.
Entirely possible, yeah.
But again, this is early in the season, and I think for IPFW to be successful, they will have to play at least 9 to 10 players.
Glenn Howard again with a 3-pointer. Glenn has not had good luck with his 3-point shot tonight. He's going to try it again. This one's a little bit short. Kevin Shank up in the air. And a lot of hustle underneath that basket. The Mastodons can't buy a basket at the moment, and that's too bad because this is the time of the ball game when you got to have something. So we have a timeout called by the IPFW Mastodons. 17 seconds to go, and Huntington College is going to come away with a victory here tonight. And they worked very hard. They've earned it. There's been no fluke.
I think earlier in the second half, Dave, IPFW got back into this ball game and actually took the lead, but they had Huntington down. They were tired, and when you get a team down, you have to have that killer instinct.
Yeah.
Again, it's very early in the season, but if you get an opponent down, you have to keep them down. And that's the key to a successful season. You really have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. It's very easy to get up for the good teams, the Kentucky Wesleyans. When you get into the conference, the Lewises, the Bellarmins. But you have to beat the Huntingtons and the St. Francis. And for IPFW to be extremely successful, as they have been the past few years, they have to beat these types of teams, especially on their home court.
But you mentioned the critical thing, I think, and it was somewhere around the 8 or 9 minute mark to go in the game where IPFW had come back, took a 6-point lead, and then Huntington got right back in the game, took their own lead, and away they went. And I guess that play perhaps typifies how things have gone for the last 7 or 8 minutes. Just not quite bouncing right.
But in everything we've said, you have to give these Huntington Foresters all the credit in the world.
Yes, you
they
do.
came here and they have never quit.
They've had some guys out there that have played hard all the way along, and there's one big guy with the slam dunk, and he has had about 15 points in this second half alone. But there have been 4 or 5 guys played great ball game for IPF or for Huntington College, and one of them, I think, Charlie, a key was this Rob New, who came off the bench. He's an experienced older player and played very, very tough inside basketball.
Exactly.
And then David Nichols, Scott Neff, Marty Hale, Sebastian Anyango, those guys just kept plugging, and Huntington College played an excellent ball game. They're going away with a 10-point win here tonight. And I bet they wouldn't have dreamed that was going to happen either.
Exactly. Again, you have to give these guys all the credit in the world, and tonight they were just the better team.
They were.
On paper, I think they're a long way away from being the better team on paper, but it doesn't count on paper. It counts on the scoreboard. And tonight they were the better team on the scoreboard, and that's what means everything in the world.
Well, we have a couple of players for Huntington College. The big man, number 55, Anyago, scored 22 points, and we said about 15 of those in the second half. Scott Neff, young man who during the course of this second half hit his last 6 free throws in a row and ends up with unofficially 18 points. David Nichols, again a key ball player for the Huntington Forester, and he has 16 points. So there's pretty good balance between those 3 guys. And Rob New, as we said, came off of the bench and came in with 13 points. And that's a pretty nice contribution, as well as the strength and rebounding that he provided for these guys.
Sure is. He came
inside.
in and was a major ingredient to this win tonight. But I think a lot of the credit should go to Neff. What he did was he stayed in there. He brought the ball up most of the time against that IPFW press. And although he had some problems in the second half, consistently he broke the pressure and got good shots for this Huntington Forester team.
Yeah. And again, unofficially, as we just quickly look at some of the scoring that we kept, 6 guys in double figures, 10, 12, 13, 16, 18, and 22. And that's awfully good balance. That means there was a whole group of guys there that all night long consistently played well.
Exactly, Dave. That's a team effort, a team win, and those are the kind of wins that you have to have.
On the other side of the fence, we also have some good double-figure balance. John Heinstretter, for example, came off of the bench and gave IPFW a very strong 16 points. Sean Gibson scored unofficially 14 points. We have 10 points for Glenn Howard. Have about 9 points for Kevin Shank. And 15 points Clarence Rich. And again, Clarence off of the bench came in. Jeff Smithy, 4 3-pointers, had 12 points. So interesting ball game. One that I guess in both games tonight the fans got their money's worth. It was exciting. It was a little bit unexpected. And tomorrow night our lineup will be then in the 6 o'clock game. IPFW will play Indiana Tech. And then in the championship game at 8 o'clock, the St. Francis Cougars will take on the Huntington College Foresters.
Dave, I think what happened to IPFW, again, I stated a few times they needed someone to step up. I don't think they had that person to step right up, and that may have been the key, but I think from now on we'll see someone stepping up and more of a team effort from this point on in this from this IPFW basketball team.
Yeah, there were a couple of occasions where we saw that begin to happen. but it wasn't consistently held throughout the half, and thus the kinds of things that needed to be pulling together for the Mastodons just weren't there tonight. But it's a long season. This is just the beginning. They'll have plenty of opportunities from here on out. There will be new faces, new opposition, new games, and away we go.
Maybe we can count this as a wake-up call.
There you go. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the crew, College Cable Access Channel 6, and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their participation in the live production of our basketball games tonight. It has been a pleasure to be with you, and we ask you to join us again tomorrow night for the second night of the IPFW tip-off basketball tourney. So for Charlie Washington, Dan Gebhardt, this is Dave Skelton saying thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time.